just been connected to the largest spiritual network on the planet, The Jeffrey Daugherty Show. Jeffrey Daugherty. Sink or swim. Deep end information. Parabiblical research. Spiritual technologies. Personal empowerment. Be your own guru. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. And now, showing you how, here's Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hello, folks. Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, back again for another edition of the Jeffrey Daugherty Show. So glad to have you with me today. So glad to have you with me every day, and asking and believing that you will tell somebody about these broadcasts, tell somebody about this show so they can listen and hear what I humbly think is one of the most important messages being expounded and shared today. The message of how we are not sinners, we are born with the seed of divinity within us, and that by following the teachings of Yahushua or Jesus, not the stained glass Jesus, but the biblical and the extra biblical Jesus / Yahushua, that we can find life, and that super abundantly, and that's what it's all about. And folks, soon and very soon, just as soon as I can, and I'm putting some things together to speed this up. Maybe somebody out there listening to me today can help me speed this up. We're putting together the RV, and as soon as we get that RV ready, as soon as I get a stock of books, we are heading out on the road for the big tour. We're going to go to all the unexplained / spiritual sites in the United States. We're going to speak at churches. We're going to speak at groups. We're going to speak at conferences. We're going to speak at seminars. We're going to do book signings. And we're going to show you all these great spiritual places. And we're going to share this great message of liberty and freedom and empowerment for every single one of us. We're going to talk about the spiritual technologies. We're going to talk about the parabiblical research. We're going to talk about the personal empowerment, and this is going to be years in the making. We're not sure how long it'll be. I'm divesting of everything I have here, and we're hitting the road, and we're going to go and take this message far and wide, and we're super excited to do that. And today I want to talk about a subject that I hear on a regular basis. People call me, they contact me, they say, Jeff, I need your help. Demons are after me. I've got problems with a demon. I got problems with a spirit. I got problems with a devil. And, I'm not a paranormal researcher type person. I'm not a ghost chaser. I'm not, into any of those type of things. I don't look for them and research them, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those that do. It's just not something that I do. What I do is deal with what people think are demons, devils, spiritual entities that are tormenting them. And, exorcism is the simple and short answer for what I do. I've been doing it for 35 years. And we're, got about now to where we're proficient at it, and we can help you rid your life of these things that you think most of the time are demons. But I'm here today to tell you, and I'm here today to calm your mind, that there are very, 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 very few of you that ever have or ever will be tormented, buffeted, bothered by demons. First of all, the concept of demons as we have it today is foolish. It's created by that fear. It's created by that whole Pauline Christianity fear control matrix. We think that there's this horde of demons running around, these malevolent beings that are trying to come and jump on us. They're hiding behind the curtains. They're hiding in the shower. They're hiding under the bed. Really, they're the boogeymen that we used to be afraid of when we were kids. Now we're all grown up. We call them demons. But the fact of the matter is, even though I know you think that you're being buffeted by demons, even though I know you think that, Jeff, I'm in the middle of it, it is a demon, it's not a demon. Almost every single time, it's not a demon. We'll talk first about the times, the ways, the possibilities that it could be a demon. Unless you are, exposing yourself to some type of spiritual entanglement, it's very unlikely that you are actually being tormented by a real, malevolent, unbalanced spiritual entity. Unless you're dabbling in magic that is imposing your intention upon the intention of somebody else, unless you're doing monumentally stupid things like astral sex, unless you are giving too much of your intention to spirit guides, ascended masters, spirit, what am I thinking of? Angels, those type of things. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that has spirit guides or follows angels or follows ascended masters, I'm not saying that every one of them is bad. I'm just saying that it can be very dangerous because you don't really know what you're exposing yourself to. And my recommendation is the same as it's always been. Learn to guide your own spirit. Learn to master your own ascension. Learn to be your own angel. You as a human, and I'm not talking about this body, I'm talking about your spiritual essence of who and what you are. You can go to all the places a spirit guide can go, an angel can go, an ascended master can go. You can do all the things an angel can do, a spirit guide can do, an ascended master can do. You can do all the things that a guru can do if you'll just take the time to do the spiritual work to equip yourself to be able to do it. And when you do it yourself, when you are your own guru, when you guide your own spirit, when you master your own ascension instead of looking to spirit guides and angels and ascended masters, then you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're not being led astray, you're not being hoodwinked, and you're not being strung along by some spiritual entity that needs the contact with you so it can vampirize, or if you don't want to look at them as mean, so it can feed off of you, it can use your energy to keep itself alive. Because so many of these things, folks, that you call spirit guides, that you call angels, that you call ascended masters, so many of these things are fractals, pieces of spirits that fell off when the good part of the spirit ascended through the astral realm, and they float around there. And if they're lucky enough to catch some energy, they can keep themselves alive. They're the cuttings of the vegetables, as my friend Dr. Andy Toltec would say. They're these stages of the rockets that should have burned up but did not. And many of the things that you're worshiping, following, seeking advice from are fractals. They're not angels. They're not spirit guides. They're not ascended masters. They're these poor, pitiful, and sometimes unbalanced and with some malevolent intent spiritual entities that are trying vainly to keep themselves alive. And to keep themselves alive, they've got to keep you coming back to them. So they can be nice. They can be appear to be helpful. But in the end, they're only helping you just enough to keep you coming back to them. And sometimes, if you feel like you're being buffeted by demons, if there's things that are scaring you, if there's things that are causing fear in you, if there's things that are causing distress in you, it's possible, I'm not saying that it is, I'm saying that it's possible that because you are leaning too heavily on these spirit guides, because you're leaning too heavily on these ascended masters, because you're leaning too heavily on these angels, you've actually exposed yourself and your energetic weakness, your energetic vulnerability, and I know this is going to sting a little bit, but your energetic naivete, so that some of these spirits will come in and try to buffet you. And a great number of these spirits don't live and subsist on the love and the joy and the energy that some of these ones do. Some of them, they want your love. Those are mainly the water elementals, by the way. They want your love. Some of them even want, that sexual energy. But there's a great number of these, a whole realm of these entities, the fire elementals. They live, breathe, exist, and continue to exist through fear. And they're the things that are scaring you. They're the things that are causing you fear and fright because that's what they need to live on. But they are not really demons. They're just fractal pieces of spirits that have ascended, and it's the bad parts that have fallen off that are meant to disintegrate in the astral realm and refertilize it, so to speak. But because there is a phone call, because there is this desire on our parts for this easy, cheap, quick answers, we sometimes find ourselves seeking these beings and these beings latching on to us. So even if this is the case, and I don't think it's a case in a lot of times, it's very possible that you've just opened yourself up to these fire elementals, these fractals, because you have over-reliance upon spirit guides, angels, ascended masters. And the best way to rid yourself and free yourself from this type of attack is to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru. If you don't know how to do that, I can help you do it quick, effective, and not keep you coming back for more. Empower you to go and be able to do this on your own. Or just stop doing it until you have got yourself to the place where you can do the stuff yourself. Stop doing what you're doing until you can do what you're having other spiritual entities do for you, either through yourself or through some type of a spirit worker. Now that's that's a minority of cases as to people thinking, oh, demons are after me. Demons aren't after you. If you're over-reliance on spiritual work and spiritual workers and spiritual beings, might have exposed you to some fractals, some fire elementals. They're not demons. Don't worry. Just flood them with positive energy, and that's probably tomorrow's show, how do we get rid of them? And they will balance energy, and they will snap back into phase, or they'll go away from that balanced energy. But at any rate, it's not a demon. Even in the worst case of the vast majority of the scenarios, it's not a demon. It's just a fractal or a fire elemental that you can deal with relative ease, or you can get a spiritual worker that can deal with it with a relative ease for you. Now, there are some rare occasions where somebody will be attacked by a unbalanced, malevolent intent type of a spiritual entity. It's very rare. It doesn't happen very often. And, I very, 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 very rarely ever see it happen. So I want you to know that it probably isn't happening to you. It does happen every now and then. And if you contact me or somebody that is proven to be able to work with these entities, it can take care of it very, very simply. Now let's talk about what it is in the vast, vast, vast majority of the time. In the vast, vast majority of the time, what you think is a demon that's coming back to bug you is nothing more than karma taking place. It's nothing more than the law of attraction taking place. And it's not what you think I think that I mean. Here's what it is. Most of what comes to us that we perceive as a demon is nothing more than unbalanced energy that we have ourselves created, either in the past or in our past lives. Let me say that one more time. Virtually everything that comes to you and presents itself as a demon, and we think it's a demon, is either unbalanced energy that we ourselves have unbalanced in our past or in our past lives. And like this salmon that swims back upstream to where it was born, that energy naturally is attracted back to you in an effort to be balanced out again. Now, sometimes we say, well, Jeff, if it's just my energy coming back to me, then why is it so scary? Well, sometimes that energy has had enough attention from some dummy, has had enough astral sex from some idiot, or has had enough powerful emotion that it's been able to feed and gain some type of a personality about itself, if you will. It's actually been able to gather some type of personhood, so that it's actually become some type of like a tulpa or a thought form or some type of an entity with some type of personality. It's really not, but it kind of thinks it is. And yet it's compelled to come back to you because it has to be balanced, because it is unbalanced. It's compelled to come back to you to be balanced, but it doesn't want to be balanced, so it tries to scare you so that you will not do the balancing that is needed to be done, because then it knows that it would phase back into balance and would cease to have its own separate personality. And the reason why it can be so scary to you is because it's from you and it knows exactly what scares you. It knows exactly what your fears are. It knows exactly how to get under your skin, so to speak. So it scares you because it knows you. It scares you so you will turn away from it. It scares you so it can continue its pathetic existence as a fractal thought form garbage spirit that needs to be balanced back or disintegrated, depending upon who you talk to and what your frame of reference is. But if you'll just realize that it's not a demon, and if you'll stop trying to fight it, because what you resist will continue to persist. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to keep persisting until you stop resisting. What you resist will tend to persist. Period. May not like it, it's still true. And if you resist it as a demon, oh, it's a demon, I got to fight it, it'll continue. It will persist. But if you realize, oh, this isn't a demon, this is some unbalanced energy I created, let me flood it with balance energy. Let me hew it. Hew. Let me hew it. And believe it or not, most of the time it is just that simple. And it snaps, it phases back into balance. It's no longer scary because it's really no longer there. It's not unbalanced anymore. It's phased back into balance. I teach people to do this all the time. I do it for people all the time until they learn to do it for themselves. It's part of the spiritual technologies that we do. This is part of the news we're going to be sharing on the tour. So you're not being buffeted by demons, except in astronomically rare cases. And if you are, you probably need some help. You might be being buffeted by fire elementals or by fractals because you've opened yourself up into over-reliance on spirit guides, ascended masters, and angels. But more than likely, it's just your own chickens coming home to roost, energy that you've unbalanced in your past, and it's coming back to you to be balanced, because that's the most natural and effective way to do it. I can balance your old unbalanced energy for you, but it's not quite as efficacious, and sooner or later you're going to have to be able to do it yourself to finish the job. So don't be afraid. Don't live in fear. You're not being tormented by demons in the vast majority of the cases. Now you know what to do if elementals, fire elementals, or fractals are bugging you. And now you know what to do if it's your own energy that you unbalanced coming back to you for balance. Cliff tells you at the end of this show how to get a hold of me. I'm that close. And we can help. But most importantly, we can help you learn how to help you. And until tomorrow, this is Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, wishing you peace and light.
Stay connected with the largest spiritual network on the planet, www.imnck.com. On Facebook, Jeffrey Daugherty and Jeffrey Daugherty Show. And on Twitter at NC Kabbalah. Visit imnck.com today and learn how to create yourself and live the life you'll love.